All right, well, good evening. Welcome to the Newfane Selectboard meeting. It is Monday, August 19th, 6 o'clock. We have Ann Golob on Zoom, and at the table we have Jeff Chevalier, Katie Johnson-Aplin, and myself, Angela Litchfield. We also have one out of Powling, Austin Rice, and Jay Wilson. Has this meeting been properly warned?
Yes, it has.
Thank you. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda? You said you have one.
No, I figured that Katie's presentation will be down here under the Carroll Trail.
I thought you were talking about the monument thing. But you wanted to add that to something.
I'm gonna put it on the
As
end.
part of your report?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other additions or amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, we will go to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the August 5th regular meeting minutes?
I make such a motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Ayes have it. And approval, a motion to approve the August 5th Board of Liquor Control meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. And again, welcome back, and it's time for the road foreman and commissioners report.
Okay. So we have the proposal for putting the test wells in at the gravel pit to monitor the groundwater level. That's something that's required by Act 250. So I sent that over. I don't have anything back yet from Bob Fisher on the loop road easement, so I'm going to have to try to call him tomorrow and get him going because we need to get that finished up.
He's back from vacation.
Okay. When did he get back? How recently?
I talked to him, I believe, Thursday morning.
Okay. All right. The expected start date for the Depot Road box culvert is September 3rd.
Yay!
The crane is coming on the 5th, so that'll be exciting.
Will that be a full road closure or?
Full
Okay.
road closure for, I'm guessing, week and a half, maybe something like that. They've got all the signs up.
I saw that.
They're covered still, but yeah, I'm guessing it'll be a week and a half or so.
Well, if you send a ditty to me, we can get that blasted out on social media closer to the event.
Yep.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Fitzgerald Engineering is working on all the permitting needed for the stream bank repair at the Green Iron Bridge. Today they notified the Indians, and the wood turtle is a big thing. So it's amazing when you're working with federal money, the things that pop up that you don't see every day. And also, if you're cutting a tree bigger than 3 inches, you have to check the list to see what species, if it's something that's important, or there's 2 things that have to be done. And all I can say is I thank God that we've got Fitzgerald working on it because they're used to this and it's no big deal to them. But so, and Green Mountain Power is between Kafka's and Cables on South Horsburgh Road, putting in the underground power lines. The road will be very rough while they're working. They're redoing our culverts as they go, and it looks good. I mean, they definitely have a lot to do after, it settles a little bit, but it's coming okay.
Great.
I guess the only other thing is to go over that proposal for the wells from the engineer.
Okay. Well, might as well just do it as part of your report, right?
Okay. So the only thing on the fees that I want them to take off is the $300 for DigSafe. I can do the permit myself. It's 2 minutes. And the last time we did the DigSafe for there, when we did the test pits, they just did the entire 21 acres in the office. Nobody even has to come out. So To pay $300 for that, I don't think it's worth it. So I'll pull that off and just take care of it.
Okay. So without that, and because this is our new engineer, right? We don't have to go.
Yes. Right.
We don't have to do any bids or anything.
It's possible that it'll be less than that, but that's for 3 days of drilling. I can't imagine that it's going to take that long, but we'll see.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this?
Is this like really simple PVC to see how much water fills in it over X amount of
They
time?
have to go down, I believe it's 50 feet
Oh,
for each
okay.
hole. They actually have to they're trying to find the groundwater level, but if it's below 50 feet, that's lower than we would ever go. So apparently beyond that point, you don't have to worry. But
Great.
they're going to go at least 50 feet on everything.
Observation wells will consist of 2-inch nominal diameter scheduled 40 PVC pipe installed to a maximum depth of 50 feet or within the encountered groundwater table with a 10-foot slotted screen.
Yay.
So you need a motion for us to approve this?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for? Are there any other questions before we go further? Ann, do you have any questions?
No, not about that. There was just a different item I wanted to bring up.
About the gravel pit? Oh, something else for Jan? Excellent.
I make a motion to accept the bid minus the $300 for the dig safe permit for 17,125 or approximately, so.
I will second.
Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Let's do a motion to approve the road foreman and commissioner's report real quick. Is there a motion to approve?
I make such a motion.
I second the motion.
82nd. Okay, now we'll continue the discussion.
I think we've done well keeping ahead of the engineers with their needs, and I think they're making good progress, it seems like. So that's encouraging.
Better than what was happening before, so that's cool.
Absolutely. Yep.
Welcome.
We
We
could have
might actually
started,
get to the end.
yeah, we could have started a year earlier with these people, but no, that didn't happen.
Oh, well.
Yep.
We have now had Mike on the phone, and we're discussing the road foreman and commissioner's report, Mike. All right, Ann.
I just wanted to bring up an email had been sent to all the select board members, and I forwarded it on August 7th from Keith Ramsey about a bridge rehab project. And I've never seen anything like that, and I wondered what you made of it, and it
So
wasn't even clear which bridge they were talking about.
the Green Iron Bridge over near you
Oh, okay.
is after Irene, when it was damaged, the state wanted the town to keep it, so they took over the repairs of it.
Mhm.
Rather than have it be the town responsibility. So now they're looking at it needs some serious work, and they keep pointing that out to us, and I keep pointing out that it's theirs, and finally they've taken that seriously and are actually considering either replacing or a major rehab on it,
Wow.
which I'm
That'd be
sure won't
huge.
be anytime soon. But
Right.
so their request was whether we had the actual. We go under the assumption that everything's 3 rods. And unless somebody has some information that says otherwise, that's what we would probably want to go with. That gives you, 24 3/4 feet from the center line. So I don't believe there's anything separately that has a different easement for that bridge. I mean, somebody could do research going back, I don't know how long time ago, and see if they can find anything different. But otherwise, we work under the assumption that they're all the 3 rods.
Okay. So I don't remember if that form had to be signed or what needed to happen with it. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up. Do other people remember this email? It went to all of us.
I read it a while ago, I apologize.
I read it when I got it, but
I can pull it up and look at it.
It's
Yeah, that has two places just to check the box, whether
Right.
it's whether
yeah.
we have evidence or we just use the statutory 3-rod.
Okay. So is that something that Angela should do, and or you should do, or?
Sure, either way.
It doesn't look like there's a signature needed, so if you
No.
have that information,
Okay.
we wanted to make a motion to have Jay check the appropriate box and send it back.
I would make a motion that Jay complete the form from Keith Ramsey about the Green Iron Bridge.
I'll second that.
Excellent. So thank you, Mike, but Jeff beat you to the punch, so.
There you go.
Any discussion?
I did do research and I couldn't find anything other than what Jay said, the 3 rods. And I went back to 2007, I think.
Okay. Well, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor of Jay filling out the rest of the form, say aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Abstained? Excellent. Is there anything further to discuss on the road foreman and commissioners report? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
alright.
Opposed? Abstained? Ayes have it. All right.
Has there been anything on Facebook or anything about the Green Mountain Power work? Have they put out anything?
They have not put out anything that I've seen, but there was a discussion about why there were so many culverts and what was going on.
Yep, and I quickly responded, this is Green Mountain Power's project, they're replacing culverts as they bury lines.
Yep.
In the
Okay. I
roadway.
just want to make sure that, I mean, if I went up today to look at it and I spent 20 minutes sitting there waiting to get through because they were changing a roll of conduit on the machine. So if people, are aware of it, I would avoid it if possible and go the other way, if they're coming from Wardsboro.
We'll send him and the project manager an email asking him for a press release or something from them to forward out. I can do that when we're done with the meeting and see if he has anything. Because it would be good to come from them since
Right. It's their project.
Great.
Yep. Thank you.
Did you want to include that Green Mountain Power email, the letter,
Yes, I do have
in
that.
front of you?
We will
By the
address. So while you're still here, we have a letter from Green Mountain Power dated August 2024. Green Mountain Power Corporation distribution line upgrading relocation in Newfane, Vermont. Job number 196296. Attention Select Board. This letter will serve to provide notice that Green Mountain Power Corporation will be commencing, here we go, road construction in the next couple months on the pole and underground line located along South Wardsboro Road, extending to Vic Benjamin Road, continuing to Cushing Flats Road, followed by Sir Isaac Newton Road in Newfane, Vermont. Construction will... Are you gonna post the letter?
I'm just taking a photo of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably what I'll do, and put it on all the things. Construction will occur in phases and will generally be as follows. Line workers will come in to set the new poles and anchors. The line crew can typically set several poles per day. Vegetation clearing and construction of the facilities will take place along the existing road corridor. Once the poles are set and tree trimming is complete, the wire are pulled into place and secured to the poles. There will also be underground facilities being involved. That will include a trenching machine, excavators, and line crews to install the facilities along the edge of the roadway. This will impact some of the travel of the road. Once all of the new lines, including electric, telephone, and cable, are erected and fully operational, the old facilities will be removed. Please be assured that great care will be exercised while working on or near your property. Any disturbed earth will be restored and reseeded. We are very appreciative of your cooperation and thank you for working with us throughout this process. If you have any questions or concerns now or during the construction, please feel free to reach out. Sincerely, Christine Gutterson. Yeah, so I'll just put this up
Yep.
there. That way, everybody will be in the know, and that will be good for the folks that live and travel that road regularly.
You wanna post it and just tag us so that we're all together as the...
Yeah. Well, I probably won't tag everybody, but I don't want to risk being a
quorum.
Yeah, so I'll just post it and I'll do it tonight. And
Great, thank you.
I'll put it on the Newfane page, the Brookline page, and I can't get anything ever posted on the South Newfane Williamsville.
Really?
They delete it right away, so if you wouldn't mind doing that one after I post.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be great.
That's odd.
But that would be great, and then I think we're covered. Anything else for Jay?
No,
not-
but thank you for working so hard over your vacation.
Yes, we really appreciate you and all the crew.
It's way better than coming back to, 400 emails or more.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice weather, so no bad storms while you were gone, so that was
No,
a
no. Connecticut didn't fare so well, but
I'll say.
I had, fortunately wasn't home. We had more trees down on Adams Hill, but
Yep.
locals just did it. My
good.
husband did it.
We are a good community.
Mm-hmm.
So moving right along, we'll go to one edit. Good evening, it's time for the administrative assistance report.
Good evening. I researched the Carroll Trail extensively. I've contacted the Secretary of State, the Vermont legislation for the state statutes, and VLC to understand the procedures that need to be followed before discontinuing. I have included the steps necessary for the select board to follow. Just to be clear, if you go to the last highlighted section, it may not be necessary to read the other 5 chapters. So if we skip to that area, statute 790, laying out highway or bridges on or near line between 2 towns. The select board of 2 adjoining towns may by agreement lay out, reclassify, or discontinue a highway on the line between the towns or erect a bridge over a stream between the towns if a majority of the select board members of each town assent. I have attached the letter of the discussion the decision they made in 2011, and the chair of the Newfane Select Board agreed with the decision. I contacted Dover Town Office, and they confirmed that they have not discontinued Carroll Trail. It does not benefit Newfane to spend time and money to discontinue the trail. It's a lengthy procedure, and in order to discontinue, the legislative body of the municipality has to follow the procedures of sections 708 through 711, which means that a petition needs to be signed by 5% of the voters to discontinue. You also have to have a survey done laying out markers and monuments or clearly define the trail. And then you have to hold within 60 days, you have to hold a hearing. And then if you decide to, we have to then report it to the Commissioner of Forest, Parks and Recreations. So it's quite an extensive process, and it could be financially expensive, considering that it's 2 towns involved and the survey that needs to be marked.
There's also information from Katie Bristol in our packets about this as well.
Yeah.
What did Katie say? I don't have that one.
She said, I recommend, here's my research, I recommend not discontinuing this road.
She again listed the statutes for discontinuing the highway, the Vermont Old Roads, 10 questions. There's, if there's no maintenance done within a 30-year period, the road actually gets thrown up anyway. I mean, it doesn't become a viable trail for the town to maintain. So, The,
I don't understand what that means. So if it doesn't become a viable road after not being maintained for 30 years, then it's no longer a class 4 road?
correct. But then the property owners can petition to have it become their property again by default.
Does it remain a legal trail? Like, what's the difference between a class 4 road and a legal trail?
If the discontinued highway is not designated a trail, the right-of-way shall belong to the owners of the adjoining land. It is located between the lands of two different owners. It shall be returned to the lots to which it originally belonged. If that cannot be determined, it shall be divided equally between the owners of the land.
Okay.
We consider it a class 4 road.
Yep.
But Dover considers it a trail,
Got it.
yeah. And in their letter, they have,
And they're asking, just to be clear, they're asking for the trail to be discontinued that's on their property or the entire trail? Because from the map, it looked like the trail was much more extensive than just what is on their property. Is that correct?
that is correct. It would
they want-
divide the trail.
So they're not asking for the whole trail to be discontinued, just the piece that's on their property.
They
Correct.
own a considerable portion of the part that's in Dover, from my understanding, because they had requested that that be discontinued as well back in 2011. And the trail is another 2,500 feet long, or almost half a mile long, into Dover.
Into
Oh,
Newfane.
Dover. I thought it was into Newfane as well.
Well, yes, it is, but ours is just a small segment. The road continues more than half a mile, or almost half a mile, in Dover. That's what all of that information says. And that's the important piece. It would do no good to discontinue ours if there's still over half a mile of trail in Dover.
But don't they own both sides of it all the way through it now? I mean,
That's what I thought they were saying.
sides of the parcel.
And if you look at,
So, I mean, I know about a class 4 road. You know, what a class 4 road is not maintained year round. But they're supposed to be so they could travel over it a portion of the year. And I remember I had some land on class 4 post, and the town was actually liable for the culvert. Because pretty sure there was a guy in Brattleboro one time fighting the same thing. And I never bought mine, I just over it, but you know, the town was actually liable for the culvert, and it was supposed to. When I was road commissioner years ago in Westboro, Knowles had a piece of land up there that went out into the old farm, and they had a gate across it. And the state made them have that gate so people could go through it. And I had to fix the road all the way up where the old farm was so he could travel out it with his vehicle to measure the mileage of the road.
I presume that this is the trail, this little tiny line with U's through it, which says
Class 4.
unimproved, impassable or untraveled, which is not class 4. So what is our true designation at this point?
I don't know, if ours is class 4 or is it a trail?
That is what I presume is the piece of trail that they're talking about, and if you can see that, there's little tiny U's in it, and according to this key, U says impassable or untraveled, which is different than class 4.
Okay.
So what is it really classified as?
or what should it be classified as?
Yeah. I mean, I would
It's
rather make.
classified as a trail.
Yeah, it
Because
probably should be classified as a legal
Where it comes out on the
trail.
Hunter Brook, there's no bridge here either, is there? Doesn't it come out before we get up to all the camps or something like there? I think you have to cross the brook to get to it on our end of it.
I'd have to go walk it before I could have a get an opinion.
One at a
Yeah,
time.
I
same.
mean, we might wanna look at that, because if it is, you might wanna go over the trail, if not, see what happened when they did that one across that one house over there on the way to South Newfane, put that big bridge in because it's a legal road. And then, like I said, if the town's liable for culvert and bridges, they can come back to haunt you. You might wanna make sure that is a trail or something, or at least declassify it.
Has the town of Dover been contacted to see if they are doing anything about it?
I contacted them and they confirmed that they still maintain ownership of the trail. They're not willing to give it up.
But have they
But
been
they've declared
contacted
it a trail.
again this decade?
Last week.
Last week?
So that's good to know,
That's important.
because that's an
Um,
empty piece. And then do you have
Do
the
you have
letter
the
from Rich
Dover
Werner?
maps?
Do I have one?
You, in an email that you sent us some weeks back, there was maps of all of the surrounding landowners
Yes.
who had say in this process in the Dover side. Do you have that map? Because that's important information so that we see the whole picture.
Okay, I do have it in the other, meeting minute stuff. Going back to Jay's question about the discontinuance of highway, in chapter 7, subsection titled 776, damage for highways discontinued before completion. When a public highway is laid out and or damaged, that might not apply.
It's not really
Discontinuance before work, the assessment of the damages shall be void. Damages of laying out less, no, that doesn't work.
I have a thought, since some of us are not familiar with this particular trail, is if we could go walk it one day just to look at it and then bring it back for further discussion after we know what we're looking at.
I think that's great.
I mean,
Could I say two things?
do it together, we can do it separately. What's that?
I want to just say two things. I just wanted to say that, in my opinion, whether or not to consider this request should not be based on whether or not it's sort of a nuisance or expensive, or I think
Right.
that we should be deciding it on the merits and not whether it's a lot of work for us to figure out. I think
Right.
if a resident has come with this request, it has to be taken seriously and thoughtfully and should be responded to as such. In all the materials that Winetta sent, she also sent the policy that was approved by the town in January of 2009. And in that policy, on page 3, number 5, it said that the select board will seek the advice of the planning commission and the conservation commission on determining which class 4 town highways and trails should be discontinued. So that would just mean that, and also in order to follow our own procedure, we should bring in bring those two groups in and allow them to opine on this issue.
So could you forward to the planning commission and the conservation commission this information and our thoughts and concerns for their input?
Yes.
And then we can move after that, and then in the meantime, anyone who is not familiar with the area, go check it out.
It also says in the town policy that the select board would, as you suggested, Angela, go take a look at the property and walk it.
Yeah,
Where does it land?
Center Brook,
It's,
Your brother.
Hunter Brook?
it's on Hunter Brook.
yeah, if
way
you
out
wanna
at
go
the
some
end.
afternoon, I can go for a walk with you some afternoon.
Sure.
If you do find it's still class 4, which it looks like it is on the state map, we should at least turn it into a trail. If you're not going to discontinue it completely, then it's just a trail and people can walk it, but no more responsibility for the town.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion.
So with that discussion going on, it's August 19th. Our next meeting is slated for September 2, and that's a holiday weekend. And if you're going to be reaching out to the planning commission, Juanetta, and the conservation commission to have their input, do we want to move our next meeting to the 3rd? That's, oh, well, we can't do the 3rd.
No, it's September's the second
Huh?
Tuesday. September will be the second Tuesday.
Oh, that's right, because it's the annual meeting, so we can do the 1st Tuesday. Is everybody okay with that as well?
Yes.
I will be out of the area.
Yeah, miss you. Thank you.
It's my annual, bye-bye.
Yes.
It's my weekly bye-bye, but I'll be back.
September 3rd.
Yes. So when you do send out this information, ask them to please either have something for us by then or someone here to present from each place.
And would you also send along to me and to them the comments from Katie Bristol?
Yes.
Great. So we will table this.
Yep.
And then we will all have more conversation on the 3rd. And can you please reach out to Rich and Regina Werner and let them know that we're working on it so that they're not left in the dark since it's their request.
This is like, the 3rd time we've discussed it in a meeting, so we've been working on it for a bit, and
Yeah,
we're still going.
Yeah, it's not a one meeting wonder. Okay. Anything further with your reports? I see there's one more thing.
Just a reminder, the town fair, 2024 is October 1st and 2nd in Killington. Is there anybody that's going to be needing to be registered? The deadline for early bird registration is August 30th. And as part of the town beautification, I received an email from a Liberty Tree Society in Walpole, New Hampshire. It's a nonprofit and they're celebrating America's freedom. There is a William Bradford Memorial that we can order, and it's celebrating the 404th anniversary of the signing of the contract before the settlers got off on the boat in Plymouth. But it signifies a sense of freedom and liberty and the Constitution, even before the first Constitution was written in 1776. And I've included that. There is a 2-month waiting period if we were to order the plaque, and the cost is $325. I would like to recommend doing that and then setting it up as a tribute with another tree. We don't have to order the tree from them, but we could get our own from a local nursery or something.
My one hesitation was an elm tree. We're about to cut down 1,600 of them. Let's not do an elm.
Ash
Oh,
trees.
sorry. Yes, you're right. But
We could do a maple, I mean,
But-
as far as
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, this plaque is to commemorate.
the 404th anniversary of the signing of the Pilgrims when they came over on the Mayflower. William Bradford, I can read it to you. It says, before stepping off the Mayflower in November 1620, the male passengers led by William Bradford signed a compact guaranteeing to each other that they would abide by and enforce their own laws, thereby creating America's first Constitution. America, the land of the free and the brave, was born that day on November 11th, 2000. Well, it says 2024, but that's, yeah, it was 1620.
I have to say, as someone who's an anthropologist and has studied the impact of the Plymouth on the native peoples of this country, I do not personally want to endorse or support that. I feel like we live in a very diverse world, and that is not the sentiment I personally want to support at this point in time.
Anyone else have a feeling either way on this subject?
I 100% agree with Ann. I also would not support this.
So, Katie, how do you feel?
I
Alright, don't mean to put you on the spot if you don't
No,
want to
that's
say anything, you
fine.
don't need to.
I think that there's probably folks who are descendants of the Mayflower still in our community, and they might want to do something like that in their own personal space, but maybe not from the town.
Mike, do you have any comments either way?
I haven't really given much thought about it, but no, I don't really care either way, I guess.
Okay. So, do we need a motion to not go forth with this or go forth? How do people want to deal with this?
You don't need a motion,
We
it's
don't?
just a recommendation.
Okay, well, it seems like the consensus is that it is denied at this time. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Loretta.
And that's it.
That's it for your report?
That's it.
I have one other item. At the last meeting, Winetta, we asked you to do some research into the process to remove the constable as a position. Have you had a chance to do any of that yet? And if not, could you put it on your to-do list?
I have started the process. It does take a town vote, so it needs to be an article at town meeting.
Does it need any warning before that or anything?
The warning would be when we post the articles that will be presented at town meeting.
Okay, so then could you just get the exact wording that would be required? And I would suggest that we discuss, if you'd put it on the agenda, I would suggest that we discuss it at another select board meeting.
Sounds good. Anything else? Is there a motion to approve the administrative assistance report?
Make a motion.
Second?
A second?
Thank you, Jeff and Katie. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Thank you for your hard work in looking into these things, we really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, committee reports. Planning Commission, no one present. Traffic calming updates?
Signs of Williamsville have gone up,
They
Jay
look
put them
good.
up. And, other than that, there is not a lot going on other than individual activities of flowers.
Is there gonna be another meeting coming up?
Nothing scheduled.
Okay. Williamsville Hall, no one's here. Scheduled members of the public, we don't have any. And there's no unscheduled members of the public. We don't have any new business, and we'll just go right into our old business. We are already done with Carroll Trail. Beautification, Jeff, any update?
Nothing right now, no.
Okay. FEMA buyout from the store.
We officially own the store. There's a town property at this point in time, Yahoo. There was some nail biting at the end, but it all worked out. And on tomorrow, we're having the inspection of the property to see if there needs to be a lead abatement or asbestos abatement. And then once we know the answer to that, we will put out an RFP to look for a contractor to do that work. We also are waiting to get the exact dates of when they will do the removal of the underground storage tank. And then testing will be done to see if any kind of brownfield remediation is required based on what they discover. So things are moving forward.
Yay!
Congrats.
We will have a green space there eventually.
I'm just wondering, you say the town owns the building now, right?
Yes.
Last I knew, like, there was doors open, wide open. I mean, should we have maybe like the road crew or something go put plywood over some of them open?
Probably.
So somebody don't crawl into it and fall and get hurt through the town?
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Very good idea. I would just say let's wait until after tomorrow when the inspection is going to be done.
Does that sound okay, Jay? I'll reach out to him after the meeting and say that that was a
I'm
suggestion.
just saying, you know.
Oh, there he is.
it's all-
Hi.
You guys can take a look and see where you can board up some doors or something.
Yeah, the only other thing I thought of is, do we need to add it on our insurance temporarily?
Oh, I have no idea.
That's a good question. Can you find that out for us, Juanetta, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Just till it's, well, then we would probably, well, I don't know. If it's just a vacant lot.
Are the other properties that the town owns on our town insurance?
Yes.
Even the vacant ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, not the vacant lands, but the buildings.
Okay, right.
So there's a liability insurance.
That's a good idea. So we'll look into that.
While we're talking about buildings trading hands, I read that the South Newfane Schoolhouse Committee, Ann, maybe you can help me out with this. The South Newfane Schoolhouse Committee sold the church, which
Yes, finally.
go back on our
Yes.
tax board.
Correct. Our tax rolls, yes.
Fantastic.
Great. Okay, personal policy. I assume you're still waiting for an answer.
I have not heard from Bob either. I will check back with him again tomorrow.
And invasive plant treatment.
Nothing further.
Okay. Town website, still waiting.
We sent out the RFP and responses are due, I think it's next week.
I sent it to the person that I was reached out to by.
Excellent.
So I haven't heard anything back, so here's hoping.
Great.
And
And
then,
I know that Bauman sent it out to someone that he knew.
oh, good. And the Emerald Ash Borer, we have a memo from Bill Gunther dated August 17th. I've contacted the active members of the Conservation Commission, and they all said yes to taking a training session in how to do an ash tree inventory along the town roads. I did receive an email back from Joanne Garten, who puts on the training, and she works for the Vermont Department of Forests, Parks and Recreation, his old department. The training session is 3 to 4 hours long, and it would need to be done during daylight during regular working hours. Still waiting to hear back from the Athens tree warden, he's on extended vacation, and some folks from Ludlow who also wanted to take the training. Having an inventory of all the ash in the town's right-of-way is the first critical step in managing EAB. You have to know where all of your ashes are and then develop a plan on how we are going to manage the outbreak. Once a tree is infested, it usually takes about 2+ years before you can observe symptoms, and by that point the tree is already becoming more brittle, making it much more hazardous to fell from the ground. Then you would have to do the work from a bucket truck or crane, which greatly increased the cost of tree removal. So in a few years, we could be faced with some large expenses, as most of this work would need to be done by professional tree service. The inventory should include a field that would indicate if power lines are threatened by any large ash. I'm still trying to get a clear idea as to what the power company will pay for. Respectfully submitted, Bill Gunther, Tree Warden. Great. So, I'm sure he will let us know when everything is ready to go.
Yeah.
Any other old business that somehow didn't make it on here? We have correspondence.
Maybe we should take a moment and stay with Bill for a second. On the second page of his note, it says, one question I wondered about, has the town put aside any money specifically for dealing with the EAB outbreak?
I don't, unless it's in our tree budget.
I would suggest that we consider that when we do the budgeting this year, that we start a fund that we put money aside to every year to help budget for paying for this, because if we get hit badly, then boy, oh boy, that's going to be a killer of a bill.
Yeah.
I did a rough guesstimate based on Jay's preliminary numbers and an estimate of about $3,000 per tree, which is more than what our town budget is in a single year when you get to all of that number combined. It's really daunting.
Can you make a note in your records to discuss that during budgeting season, please?
Yep.
Thank
And all
you.
the ash on my property are dead, so. it's here.
Okay, well, that's a good idea, and I asked Juanetta to please make a note of it for budget season that we re-bring it up. We have some correspondence, a letter from Michael Lapointe. Hello, Juanetta and Jay. Newfane is one of the towns that an EWP 5041 project that could impact wood turtles. Attached is a wood turtle guidance from VFWD on what should and should not be done. Wood turtles. Would you like me to read this? It's the guidance about what to do when you find them or not. Shall I read
No.
it?
No.
If you would like to read the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department Wood Turtle Guidance, I'm sure you can find it online, or it will be available here in the office for your review if you'd like to see it. We did the letter from Green Mountain Power. We have a letter dated July 19th to the town clerk. Dear Ms. Hasselbeck, I'm writing to inform you of an upcoming cycling event.
Shoot, just Jay.
That's okay. The Grafton Grand Fondo that will be using the public roads through your towns on Saturday, October 5th, 2024. Participants will be using Route 30 through Newfane and turning right onto Grimes Hill Road to Dover Road, towards Dover, early in the morning before 8 a.m. Though registration for the event is still ongoing, we anticipate fewer than 50 riders will participate. This ride is sanctioned and insured by USA Cycling, cycling's national governing body, and I have also informed V-Trans, first responders, and the state police. The ride will be supported with rest stops and a following vehicle. I'd be happy to provide more information and documentation at your request. Please visit graftongrandfondo.com for more information about the event. Sincerely, David Naughton. And we have a letter from Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation dated August 15th to Newfane Selectboard. Every year, Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation, BDCC, asks each of the 27 towns we serve in the Windham region to support long-term economic strategy and programs by funding Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategies, SEVEDS. This year, 22 communities representing 86% of Windham region residents voted to support the SEVEDS municipal funding effort, resulting in an investment of nearly $116,000 in regional planning and economic initiatives. SEVEDS is a grassroots organization that was formed in 2007 based on the realization that no single town can influence major economic indicators acting alone. Through the planning and research of SEVEDS, BDCC is able to foster an approach to economic development that is proactive, long-term, and regional. SEVEDS helped create the area's first regional plan for economic development, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. We update the plan yearly through CEDS, project submissions highlighting important local initiatives. Excuse me. Working with the state, federal, regional, and philanthropic partners, BDCC works to attract resources that move local projects forward, helping towns complete vital community programs and build a more vibrant, resilient economy. In 2024, the CEDS is being updated. Look for separate communication coming shortly with opportunities to attend public meetings to review the proposed regional goals and give your input. By leveraging municipal funding for SEVEDS, BDCC has been able to launch innovative, responsive programs, including high school career education, business relief, and small business lending, and new Vermonter initiatives. It has also launched programs that serve communities directly, like the USDA-funded Southern Vermont Economy Project, SVEP. Through these programs, we provide towns and community organizations one-on-one help, trainings, project-specific grants, and help accessing bigger funding resources. We ask every town in the Windham region to contribute towards regional economic development efforts at the rate of $3 per person. This year, we are asking the town of Newfane to fund BDCC at $4,935 based on a population of 1,645 people per the 2020 U.S. Census. To support continued implementation of SEVIT's efforts in FY 2026, we will follow up with an application to the Select Board to be included in this year's appropriations. In the past, we've included this funding request in a separate article at town meeting. We will follow up to schedule a time to meet with your Select Board to answer questions regarding this funding request and to provide updates on regional programs and projects. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Adam Grinold, Executive Director. Wow, starting our appropriation request already.
Super.
Okay, so that is our correspondence. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight, and we're going to move right into pay orders.